So, LAFC, one thing that you could be thankful for is the fact that soccer in America is not popular. As a result of that, you didn't have to deal with what a typical American sports club have to deal with the day after losing a major championship title. Major media pundits constantly talking about you and throwing all kind of weird theories and illogical theories out there. You don't have to deal with that. You didn't have to deal with what the Philadelphia Eagles had to deal with after they lost the Super Bowl. You won't have to deal with what the LA Lakers had to deal with after they were eliminated from the playoffs, and the same as the Golden State Warriors. You don't have to deal with all of that. So, with that being said, this is going to be my final time talking about CCL 2023. Instead of me talking about each specific club that stood out to me, I'm going to talk about regions and what each region needs to do to improve and to do better. But before I get deep into that, I'm going to start with you in general, Concacaf. Concacaf, you got to find a major linear partner. Now, in book 1, I talked about how linear TV is dying and how streaming is taking over. Well, I was wrong about that. Linear TV is not actually dying. It's more so evolving, similar to how the motor companies like GM and Ford, how they're evolving over time. At one point, a lot of us are saying that, those car companies are dying because, the EVs, the electric cars, they're taking over now, the Teslas. Well, you got Ford and GM, they're making their own version of Teslas. And that's basically how they're staying in the game. And a lot of people are not forsaking gas-powered cars just yet. And a lot of people are going to be relying on gas-powered cars for many, many years. And that's going to be the same with linear TV. Linear TV, they're already evolving. They're already having their own streaming services. You got the ESPN Plus. You got Paramount Plus. You got Disney Plus. You got all these pluses. That's linear TV's version of evolution. And there's still a large amount of people, similar to gas cars, how they rely on linear TV still. So linear TV is going to be around for a while. And it's going to be around for a long time. So with that being said, Concacaf, you got to find a major linear TV partner for the Concacaf Champions League. Because honestly, a lot of people still don't know what that is. I'm sure there's still a lot of people when they see hashtag SCCL23, a lot of them are like, what is that? What is that supposed to mean? What does that stand for? Well, a major linear partner will help educate people on what's that all about. And it will also help you to promote your brand. And it will help the event to become bigger than what it is right now. You can't only rely on YouTube streaming. You can't only rely on, Bleacher Report YouTube channel or CBS Golazo YouTube channel. That's not going to work. You see, when you have that major linear partner, and the games are broadcast on major linear networks like TNT, not TNT2, but CBS, not CBS Galazo, not FS1 or FS2 or ESPN Plus. But when games are broadcast on major television networks, that is what's going to help you to spread the awareness of what CCL is all about. And it will draw more viewers to watch your match. This LAFC Lyon match, this could have been bigger than what it was. Because Liga MX knows that Los Angeles is their home away from home. So you either have LAFC or LA Galaxy, or hell, we can even throw San Jose in it. California in general is Liga MX's home away from home. So you have one of the Cali boys playing against one of the Liga MX boys in the CCL title. Oh man, that's going to be huge. Huge viewership. Huge money to be made off of that Concacaf. So that's something that you got to work on this offseason, this CCL offseason for either CCL 2024 or CCL 2025. But definitely sometime before 2026, you want to land a major linear TV partner. I suggest either TNT or TBS or CBS. You know, networks that showing that they are interested in broadcasting American soccer. Networks that are truly interested in promoting the brand of American soccer and won't view American soccer as just another sports league to just add to their portfolio. So whenever it's time to broadcast an American soccer tournament, they'll just throw it on their YouTube channel or one of their pluses. That's your job this offseason, CCL. Find a major linear partner. Because this LAFC Lyon match, it could have drawn a lot of viewership based on the fact that California is Liga MX's home away from home. And California is the American soccer capital. Now, moving on to regionals individually. Canadians, Central Americans, Caribbeans, y'all gotta step y'all game up. You see, Liga MX and MLS has created a huge cushion, a huge gap between themselves and y'all. Now, and then when it comes to MLS and Liga MX, there's a gap between those two because Mexico is the Concacaf king. But what it's starting to look like, where it's starting to look like it's going to be common for us to see MLS and Liga MX in the CCL final. That's what it's looking like. And I know Canada, the Canadian teams, Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, they're part of MLS. I understand that. But they're still Canada. So it'll be beneficial for you, Canada in general, if you have other teams, your non-MLS Canadian teams, make it far in the CCL or just even qualify in the CCL. Because when we see a Toronto FC or a Montreal or a Vancouver, we won't really be thinking much about Canada. We'll more so be thinking about MLS. So we need to see teams from the Canadian Premier League moving far in the CCL, because that's going to help Canadian soccer in general grow even more. If it's just Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, Yeah, that will bring some attention to Canada, but most of us will still be thinking MLS. We need to see some Canadian Premier Leagues in the CCL, performing well in the CCL for the sake of the individual Canadian soccer brand. Central America, step your game up. Step your game up. I don't know much about the history of soccer, football in Central America, so I can't talk too much about it. But all I have to say is just step your game up. Do better. The same for you, Caribbeans. Do better. As for you, Haiti, you gotta get your paperwork right. I vouched for you. I vouched for you for 2 straight years now. Last year and this year. I can't do that anymore. You gotta get your paperwork right. And it's gonna get to the point where if you don't have your paperwork right, there'll be another Caribbean team that will replace you in the CCL, regardless of either VLA-AC or Cavalli winning the Caribbean title. If you don't have your paperwork right, you will be replaced by another Caribbean team. Because, like, we all understand what the country is going through. But at the same time, you know, there's rules, regulations, law, and order. And if you start breaking the rules just to help one team, then the other Caribbean teams are going to say, but wait a minute now. That's not fair. We followed all the rules. We did everything that you told us to do. And they did it. And you're letting them in? So it's gonna be like it's kind of like a slippery slope, because other teams are gonna be like, well, if they can get into CCL without following the criterias and following the rules, then so should we be able to get in. So that's what the Jamaicans and the Dominicans are gonna start saying. So Haiti, you got to get your paperwork right. If your paperwork's not right, they're not going to let you in. And you taking players from other teams, American teams, during their regular season play, that affects them. It hurts them in their chase for an individual title in their respective leagues. So you got to get your paperwork right. And if possible, you have to find a safe location that's away from the negativity, that's away from the violence. And I don't know much about Haiti, but I don't think the entire country is full of negativity. There got to be some safe areas, some safe locations within that country that where some of you could possibly relocate to, just for people to be able to, just for the athletes to be able to focus on education and sports. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but that's all I have to say about that. Liga MX, you got to protect your throne. You see, you have been the face of Concacaf probably since most of our entire lives, since most of us been alive. Probably. But now you have a new player in Major League Soccer. And even though you reminded us this past weekend that they're not there yet, they're still coming. They want to be the face of North America. And they're not gonna stop They're going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to invest money in themselves. They're going to continue to attract business partners. They're going to continue to network. The MLS is a constant moving machine. The MLS is a constant moving locomotive, and they're not gonna stop. Even when they become just as great or even better than you, Liga MX, they are not going to stop, because once they surpass you, the next step is going to be South America. After South America, then they're going to go after the entire world. MLS wants to be a global brand. They not only focus on North America, but right now the goal is North America. So you got to keep that in mind, Liga MX, and you got to defend your crown. That's your job this decade, Liga MX. Protect the throne. Protect your crown. And if you don't believe me, you're going to regret it. Protect your throne, Liga MX. As for MLS, continue to grow. Continue to grow. You had that loss in Los Angeles to Lyon. Well, actually, both losses to Lyon. It was embarrassing. Almost like a slap in the face, because the stage was set. The people in Los Angeles was ready to celebrate. All MLS viewers, fans, spectators were all ready to celebrate. And we came up short. So it was a bad loss. But continue to grow, MLS. Continue to grow. You know that your worth is not defined by this one CCL loss. Learn from your mistakes and continue to grow.